Hi, welcome to the Comfy Red Couch. My name's Tracy and I'm your host. And it is a beautiful sunny day in Toronto, and I have the windows open, and perhaps you might be able to hear the lovely wind chimes in the background because I do have the windows open, and just outside of the window on our porch I have a beautiful set of wind chimes that my sister-in-law gave us when we first moved into this house 11 years ago. So they make me so happy, and I love when the wind is going and I'm knitting and I can just hear them. It's a beautiful, beautiful sound. So they are going in the background. I hope they're not too distracting or take away too much from the podcast today, but it is getting warm in August in Toronto, and last week I had the fan on. This week I don't. Got the windows open instead. So welcome to the Comfy Red Couch. As I said before, my name's Tracy and I'm your host. You can find me on Ravelry as TracyRR, and on Instagram I am Comfy Red Couch. Today I have some tea time. I have a finished object, but I can't show it, and I have some works in progress to show. And I have the fallout from the birthday month celebration that just last week was a crazy, wonderful mail week, and I'll talk about that in the brown paper packages segment. So I guess what else do I need to say in the intro? I always find the intro the hardest part to film. I don't know whether it's just sort of coming in and just trying to start and trying to remember all the things that I'd like to say. Oh, of course, I need to say welcome to everybody who has come to the Comfy Red Couch. And if you're brand new to the podcast, I welcome you to the Comfy Red Couch. I invite you to grab a cup of tea and get your knitting or your crafting, whatever craft you love to do, and just sit and join me for, usually I'm about 45 minutes. Today might be a little bit longer. And then the other thing I always want to say, welcome back to anyone who's a returning viewer. I really appreciate you coming to join me each week on the Comfy Red Couch. I was talking with Lindsay earlier this week on Instagram, and I was sort of saying about how I don't usually ask people to subscribe to the channel, and I'm still not comfortable doing that. Just I think I mentioned it a long time ago. I used to work at McDonald's and I was really bad at upselling. My feeling is if you want to subscribe, you'll subscribe, and if you don't, you don't, and that's fine. Anyway, welcome to the Comfy Red Couch, and I hope that you've got some time to share some lovely things in the next probably close to an hour. And let's today change it up just a tiny bit. We're not going to turn the whole world upside down, but I'm going to start off with tea time because I have some lovely hot tea waiting for me, and I do have some tea goodies to share. This week I did a couple of trips. I did a special princess episode this week, and it was manic. It was really manic, and I was just so excited because I had seen the night before online that David's had the magic potion tea. So I had to go out and get that magic potion tea for this crazy wild princess party that Nathaniel and I were going to have. And while I was at David's, I saw this really pretty princess-like teapot, and I don't need any more teapots, but I love teapots. And it was just so princess-like. And it's got little sparkles on it, and like just gold, lovely sparkles. So if I had had a hot tea party, this is what I would have used for my princess tea party. But because it was so hot and we were having an iced tea party and we wanted to have the tea turn colors, I just went with the iced tea maker, which I bought back in June and I hadn't used until then. So I had to make ice special because whenever I make ice in my house, the boys always take it. So and never refill. And I'm sure many of you out there know what that's like. We used to have an ice maker in our fridge, but it broke because one of the kids left the freezer door open, and it froze. I guess it froze, and then it melted and then refroze the ice maker. So that was dead as a doornail, unfortunately. So now we have to make our ice in the old style ice trays, which gets rarely done in this house. So anyway, so this is my beautiful David's teapot, and it was on sale. If it had been regular price, I wouldn't have bought it, but it was half price, and I thought I was in a princess mood that day, and the sparkles were great. And it does have jasmine tea in it today, which I'm going to talk about too, but it's got a lovely little spot to put the lid, and it also came with a basket that sits inside. And I had taken it out because I did make some jasmine tea that was starting to get a little too strong, so I didn't want to leave this in with the tea leaves in it. But just a cute little teapot to have, and so that's why we're starting off with tea time today. And the other thing I had, a couple of days after my birthday, Greg and I had a kidlit free night, and we went out for dinner, and we went to Anthropology, and we also went to Home Sense afterwards as well. And I saw this at Home Sense. It's not a real clay mug, just like a ceramic clay-like look-alike, and but I love the glaze and I love the colors. So I put this one on Instagram as a photograph, and then last week I showed my Anthropology cat mug, and this is my other one that I wanted to drink out of. And today I have some jasmine tea going, and I'm going to talk about that now. On Thursday I went to the Distillery District in Toronto, and I was trying to get a hold of a variety pack, which I finally did, and I'll show that in a moment. But I also found this, and this is the Jasmine Pink Lemonade Tea, and at the bottom there it says a Midsummer's White Tea, which is, it's very, very small. I have to put my glasses on to read it. And anyway, so I saw this on the Thursday, August 3rd, and that was supposed to be the release date of the Shawl Society 4, and that was the Rune shawl. And if you tuned into my crazy princess party, you'll know that I nicknamed one of my shawls Pink Lemonade. And so when I saw this, I had to get it. I'm not a huge jasmine green tea lover, but this has white tea in it as well, and I really couldn't resist the name. And the Sloan tins are just so lovely. So this is white tea and green tea, and it's enhanced with the jasmine scent, and then they also have pink grapefruit in it, and I love pink grapefruit. And again, we've got this, you know what, I'll just leave the lid on. Maybe I won't too shiny. Oops. Or as Nathaniel says these days, oopsie. He says that a lot. So the, it smells so good. The leaves inside are really lovely. There's lovely little pink bits, and oh, it just smells so wonderful. The reason I decided, sorry, I'm just gonna pick that up. The reason I decided to get this as a tin was because it was not in the variety pack, and it was one of those, I wanted to celebrate finishing the 2 Rune shawls, and Pink Lemonade was the perfect way to do it. The other thing I picked up while I was in the Distillery District was my Sloan variety pack, and whoops, en français. Here is the English side, so the variety collection, and it has, pardon me for a moment while I put my glasses on. I can see, like, actually I can't see distance with these on, but I can read, and my vision's actually really good far, but up close, blind as a bat these days. I can't even read a menu anymore. And I'm going to have difficulty reading this. So there is Blood Orange Oolong, Celebration Medley, Citron Calm, Earl Grey Classic, Ginger Twist, Heavenly Cream, which I talked about before, and I love that one. And I love it actually in the bags more than loose, which is kind of strange. Jasmine Mist, Marrakesh Mist, Masala Chai Classic, Mint Chocolate, yum, Peaches and Cream, Rouge Provence. I've had that one loose. It's nice. It's a rooibos tea, and it's got floral bits to it. It's really quite lovely. And then there's the signature black tea. I'm probably going to enjoy that. I haven't bought it as a loose because I've got so many. And the last one is tropical green. So it's really small to read, but these are the 16 sachets that come in the variety pack. So there's one of each, and just for fun, of course it's taped shut somewhere. They're like a rainbow, which is kind of fun. They just look pretty on their own. Oh, there we go, that's easy. Stick that on my knee. And oh, they've all sort of fallen down. So when you go through, there is bold breakfast. I don't remember that being on the list. Maybe I've got a different variety pack. Blood orange oolong. Celebration medley. Citron calm. So nice lemony. I love lemon. I love citrus. This is the Earl Grey Classic. So I'm interested to see the difference between that one and the Heavenly Cream, which I do love. The Ginger Twist. My favorite, Heavenly Cream, which is heavenly. Jasmine Twist. Marrakesh Mint. Really lovely, just all the different colors. The Masala Chai Classic. I like chai, but mainly in the winter time. But I do drink my tea black, so I know chai, a lot of people like to have milk in it. This is the mint chocolate. Isn't that just the greatest color to go with it in that tea bag? This is peaches and cream. Rouge Provence is purple, kind of I guess like lavender, but funny for a red tea. The signature black. And finally, tropical green. So a nice little collection, one of each. As I said, I did want to get 2 of these so I could really give each a try. So over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to try and have 1 of each, and then as I go along, mark off which ones I like, so that I'll know in the future which ones I would prefer to buy, because Sloan, it's nice that it's a Canadian company, and just a nice tea in general, and lovely for a relax. So what I will probably do, just because I'm silly like this, is once I've sat down with them all, I'm going to put them like in color order or something like that, just so they look like a really pretty rainbow, but kind of a silly thing to do. So that is the Sloan Variety Collection, and I'm looking forward to taking the time, enjoying, and trying to drink all of these hot, because I don't always get to drink my tea hot when I'm knitting, because I get distracted and I knit, and I'm sure other people can understand that one. Glasses off. I need them to read. My sock. It got a little bit of love this week, but not a lot. I spent Monday and Tuesday blocking out both of the Rune shawls, so I didn't get a lot of knitting done this week, but I did get some sock progress done. So I've shown this a few times. Last week I was so excited. I had a half-finished object in my Slytherin socks done. And these are 72 stitches and just a plain vanilla that I've been sort of working on, trying to figure out what I like best. Fits nicely, I'm happy about that. And I got a good chunk of the leg done. I've got about maybe 4 rows left to go, and then I will start my heel turn. And I'm thinking that once I get a few things off the needles this week, that this is going to get some attention, and maybe we'll actually get off the needles for next week's podcast. So crossing fingers. So this is the Nora George Slytherin, and I have shown this for several weeks now, and I like green. I don't wear it as often. This is actually my favorite shirt, and I've worn it several times on the podcast because it's a nice, comfortable, beautiful shirt, and it makes me happy. So, and I'm going to have these lovely green and bluish gray socks that maybe in the fall I can wear my socks and wear my shirt and feel like I'm mismatched. So, Nora George Slytherin, it is a self-striping. Probably if I'd gone with a 64 stitch, maybe it would be a little bit more striped looking, but I really love these little green patches, little pools of green that are coming up as I'm knitting these socks. There's the inner Slytherin coming out. So getting there. As always, I mean, that's what we do, right? Row by row, we get there. And so that is, hopefully we'll see some progress next week, and I will hopefully have a sock finished on, a pair of socks finished on It's a Sockness, because it's been a while, I think. I do have another pair of socks that have been finished for a while, but I'm waiting for that pattern to be released so I can share those. So I'm really excited about those, and those are in the Molly Weasley colorway, so they're kind of fun, and so I'm really looking forward to sharing those. Right now I look at them every once in a while because of course I haven't worn them, and I'm really looking forward to when that pattern is ready to be released, and I think a lot of people are going to love that pattern. If you have tuned in before on the Comfy Red Couch, you will know that I have something very, very special in this bag that is now finished but cannot be shared. And I'm looking forward to sharing the yarn with you on this one as well. So it's a total secret, but it's now finished. I just have to secure the ends and block. And this will be the Shawl Society 5 and will be released in early September. So I went with some colors that I don't normally knit together. I probably should knit together more, and the nice thing about it is I think it'll look great with t-shirts and jeans, and I'm really excited to share this one. And this one was a lovely knit. I cast it on as my birthday cast on, so I called it my Make-A-Wish shawl. And I think I'm going to be keeping it because it'll be great to wear in the autumn time, and that's all I can say about this one. So I cast this off yesterday, which was Saturday, and I'll block it as we get closer to September, because if I block it earlier than that, then I just have to worry about, you know, if I have them up on my Molly and Dolly, who are I should probably show a little picture of them later if I remember. So Molly and Dolly right now have my 100 Acre Wood shawl, and they have my Vila shawl on them right now. And then where the mannequins have like a spot that you can put things in, they're filled with shawls because I have lots of shawls that are there. So I'll try and take a picture and put it in. This is Shawl Society 5, waiting for everybody to finish off Shawl Society 4. So this is a fun kind of, it's kind of fun to be ahead of everybody in that, you know, I know what they look like, and it's exciting to see the release of the shawls, but there is something a little bit wistful that when it's released, I've already done it, and I've moved on oftentimes. So one day I'll have to actually knit along with everyone else with another shawl, but oftentimes is not always on my side. So, or I choose to use my time, I guess, to do the next thing. Yesterday, and this is in my Paris bag because it's now free and it needed a nice home. And a year ago today I was in Paris. This has Shawl Society 6. The final Shawl Society is in this bag. I cast it on yesterday. I did sort of cheat last week and showed you one of the yarns I'm using. And I'm going to cheat again this week and show you, because it really tells you nothing about the shawl other than one of the colors I've chosen, sort of. This is the Hedgehog Fibers Kid Silk Lace, and oh my, I'm holding it double with the yarn that I'm working with, which tells you nothing again, because I could be using any yarn to hold this double with. And other than it's the one I'm holding double with is just sort of like a blah color on its own. But with this, it is a complete dream. And just, oh, I'm loving it. And it's furry and soft, and it's knitting up really, really wonderfully. I'm calling this project Sprinkles of Pixie Dust, because just these little sprinkles of color make me so happy. So yes, I'm cheating a little bit by showing you a tiny bit of Shawl Society 6, but it tells you nothing other than this is glorious. And so if this is glorious, the shawl is going to be completely glorious. So sorry, Helen, if I'm cheating, but I had to share something, because this is love, love. I've had this in my stash for a few years now, maybe 3 even, definitely 2. So 2 or 3 years I've had this in my stash, and it just felt so wonderful to take it out of my stash and wind it up and know exactly what I was going to do with it, because I bought it because I loved the colors of, this is Down by the River by Hedgehog Fibers. I just loved all the fun, pretty colors in it. But even though I do have some kid silk lace in my stash, it just needs the perfect project. And just you wait, October can't come soon enough, but yes, it can as well. I'm definitely not willing on October, but I am so excited to share this one. And this is going to be done, this will be done by the time I'm finished. By the time I film next week, this will be done, because I am loving this shawl and this yarn, along with the other yarn I'm using. So, secrets, secrets, secrets. Yes, Helen, I'm bad. Sorry. We're moving on to another work in progress, which is in my London bag. And in my London bag, you will remember that last week, if you tuned in, if you didn't, I'm working on a brioche shawl. And last week, as I was working on the brioche shawl, I put a lovely little progress keeper there, because I wanted to make sure that I got some done. And look at this, I did. I did some car knitting again, and made some time to do a few of the repeats of the brioche repeat that's on this is the Lemon Difficult shawl. So first off, I got to here, I put the progress keeper on, did a nice little chunk to here 2 weeks ago, got to there, and now I'm here. So I am using Lichen and Lace, and this is Wildflowers. And the wonderful thing about Wildflowers is every skein is so different. It's almost like the wildflowers change with the season, where ones that I've used before maybe have a little bit more pink and purple. This one has a lot more green and pink in it, and you know, some of them have more yellow, and they're all sort of really different, but they're definitely like wildflowers. They're, you know, they vary throughout the year. And so wildflowers on Lichen and Lace 80/20 sock, and this is Calm Waters on 80/20 sock, and I think they're a nice combination for my first attempt at brioche. And so there's the Calm Water side, and here is the wildflower side. And it was funny, last night I was watching the Grocery Girls podcast, and they were talking about Kate Atherley was the one who had taught them for their brioche class, and I knew they had taken a brioche class, and that was who I also took a workshop with, but in Toronto. So that is my progress so far. Now I am noticing that boys are about to come in, so chaos will ensue. So we are about to enter the trying to record while boys are home segment of the podcast, which is always challenging. So it might get a little bit manic in a little bit. So we shall see. So on my brioche shawl, I've been placing the markers each podcast, and today's going to be no different. I have my lovely little Sucra coconut progress keeper, and I'm going to put it on so that next week it encourages me to make sure I do get some done. I'm really hoping, actually, once I've got the Shawl Society 6 off the needles, that I can maybe even have this as a finished object next week, because it would be nice to share something finished with you. So here is the little coconut drink, and we'll see how it's going. So that will be what I'm hoping to get some progress done on this week as well. So into the London bag it goes, and hopefully it will come out of the London bag between now and next recording. So getting there, slowly but surely, as always. So I am enjoying the brioche quite a bit, actually, so that's fun. Because the brioche just pops out of nowhere, doesn't it? Just like Nathaniel. Are you in a silly mood? Are you going to say hello?
Hi.
Hi. Are you eating lunch? That makes it very hard for Mom to film the podcast. So anyway, this is one of my favorite things, and so is this one. So you're so silly. You're one of my silly things too. Another thing that I would like to quickly reshare on my favorite things is my If You Like Pina Coladas hat. And that is because the pattern has finally been released and is available on Ravelry. And right now, Marianarella of Lyrical Knits has a promotion code on, so I think it's 30% off until August 12th. So if you would like to knit this hat, you can get the pattern at a discount. And I love this hat. Again, I don't want to bring fall on too soon, fall and winter on too soon, but I am kind of looking forward to wearing it. So just a quick reshare of a finished object. And I have a lot to share on brown paper packages this week. The mailman was very good to me this week, maybe a little too good. And what ended up happening was I received 2 packages on Monday, 2 packages on Tuesday, 2 packages on Wednesday, and 1 package on Thursday. And Monday, when I received my package, I ripped the first one open, and I just thought I need to spread these out a little bit, because it was basically the birthday fallout, all the ordering that I had done in the birthday month, and it was all sort of arriving in one fell swoop. And so I had to sort of spread the wealth out so that I wasn't just sort of gobbling it up. You know, I needed to make it a little bit more how Christmas should be, where we slowly enjoy each package rather than opening everything up and being so overwhelmed that we're just happiest with the box. I didn't want that feeling, so I sort of spread it out, opened it at different times, figured out when I would most appreciate each one. The first one I completely gobbled up, and that was a lovely little basket of Knit Picks Felici. And I ripped open the package, and as soon as I did that, I thought, I can't do this to all the packages. So anyway, I did buy some Knit Picks Felici, and I'm just going to show you the colorways that I bought. And they don't have the names written on the ball band, so what I will do is just write it down in the bottom of the information bar, like I do with all of them. So I don't know the names, as I said, but I will hold each one and I can tell you the color numbers. This color is 27430, and so it's a fun, bright color, and my gosh, it's soft. I bought the Knit Picks Felici because I've seen everybody going on and on about it, and I wanted to figure out what it was all about. It's nice because it's fairly inexpensive, and so 2 of these will make a pair of socks, I believe. So this is one of the colors I bought. And I also bought this fun yellow, pinks, blues, whites, very, very kind of bright, and that is color 27426. And as I said, I'll put the color names that come with it down below. And then I thought, I love these purples and blues with the aqua in there and some pink. And this is color 27428. And then I needed something a little bit calm. And yes, it's got yellow in it, but that aqua and the gray and the white and the yellow together are just so beautiful. And this is, I've got to turn it a little bit more, color number 27425. I like this one. It'll be a nice, calm pair of socks. And maybe this will be one that I gift to someone else, although I do love the aquas, that I'm not sure that I would. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. This one's my favorite. I love lime green and aqua and pink and oh, just wonderful fun colors. And this is really soft yarn. It really is. So 27431 is the colorway, numerical colorway. And oh, it's just so nice and squishy and bright and funny. I don't like yellow, but lime green, I am a sucker for lime green. I love it. So, and I could definitely knit with it and wear it, and especially in February. I love to get a hold of something in lime green in February and wear it. So anyway, I'm excited to try these out because I've heard such wonderful things about the Knit Picks Felici, and I will see for myself what all the fuss is about. So I did buy 2 of each, but I just showed you one of each of the balls of yarn. So that's one of the things that popped in my mailbox on Monday. And as I said, because I ripped this one open so fast, I thought I'm not really taking the time to fully appreciate. I needed to slow down opening the brown paper packages this week. So I also got a couple of things that I purchased, and I think I'll go to that one first. And one of the things, I purchased this just a little bit after my birthday, and I'm surprised how quickly this came in. And I had been thinking about buying myself either a set of Likes or a set of Haya Sharps, just the interchangeable set. And I thought, you know what, I've got really great needles, I don't need them, but my ball winder was acting up and making awful clicking sounds and making lots of yarn barf, and it was creating issues. And it was just a plastic one that I had bought. I have a really good Swift, and the ball winder just was not my friend. And so what I ended up doing was I love the one that's at the Purple Pearl, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to invest in a really great ball winder, and that's what I did. So it is still in the box, but this is what I bought. I bought a heavy duty ball winder. It's a nice wooden one, and it's from Nancy's Knit Knacks. So there's the information there, and I will be setting this up in the room that is on the 3rd floor. And so when I'm ready to give you a tour, you'll see this one in action. And oh my gosh, when I went to the Pearl to wind up, I bought the yarn for Shawl Society 5 and 6 from the Purple Pearl. And when I wound it, my gosh, it was just like butter. It was a dream to wind. And I also took the one that I showed you earlier, the Hedgehog Fibers Kid Silk. I took it there and wound it there because I was not looking forward to winding that on the plastic ball winder, and I wasn't sure. I thought this was going to come in closer to the end of August, and I picked it up on Friday. So exciting, and yeah, it was definitely my big birthday gift to myself, but I have a lot of birthday gifts to myself. Anyway, so I'm looking forward to feeling a little bit more confident in winding my wool. So, and with a good quality one, because if you're going to be winding wool, and it's so much nicer to have something tools that make life easier. And yeah, this one will hopefully do it. So this is my lovely wooden ball winder, and I'm looking forward to getting it set up. And now that I've shown you the box, I can set it up and start winding some wool and yarns and flax and lots of different things. So it'll be a much nicer, and it also takes really big balls as well. So if you've got those really big, huge, I have a couple of Wilmisa that I bought last year that are super huge, and it will take it and wind it up nicely and not tight, compact, a little bit looser, so it's easier to work with. I don't know if you can hear the chimes. And while I was picking up that, I had some pearly points, and the Purple Pearl is fantastic because when you spend a certain amount of money, you get points on everything, and sometimes they have double pearly point days, and I had some pearly points. So what I did was I decided, because I saw these on the counter and I thought I've always wanted to try them, I bought myself some Knit Picks knit blockers, and I didn't really buy them. I got them as like I had to pay a little bit extra because I ended up getting 2 sets because I do a lot of shawls, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna see what the fuss is all about and get these. So I have these to try out, and I've got the 2 shawls that I'm going to be finishing off soon, and we're getting those off the needles and getting them blocked at some point. So I'm looking forward to trying these to see if it makes life a little bit easier, because I don't like blocking. I will leave it to the last minute if I have to, but it is nicer if it takes a lot less time. So hopefully, I do love my wires, and so hopefully with these and my wires, life will be good in the blocking world. I bought myself some beautiful stitch markers for my birthday. So I bought myself some princess jewelry for my knitting, and I put them on the tray here. I love my Spindle Cat stitch markers. They're copper, and they've got these lovely little glass beads, and they're just so lovely. And I decided that I've got a lot of bigger size ones for lace shawls, and but I decided I've been doing a little bit more sock knitting. I wanted to get a few more of the smaller sock ones, and I do have a couple of sets. I've got a lovely little violet set, and I have a spring posy set as well, but I thought I wanted to change it up a bit. So this is the Tiny Trio, and it's just 3 little flowers with and they're just, I love these. So I bought this one, and I bought, oh, it's so hard to decide which ones to show you first, because they're all so lovely. So these are lovely little pink hearts, and they came on a holder, so that was fantastic. This is the copper and check glass stitch markers, and it's just called Sweet. And yes, they are absolutely adorably sweet, and unfortunately they are not, I don't know why they're not quite clear. They might be a bit better now. So anyway, so love these ones. And I also got the, also on another holder, because that's oftentimes I don't have the holders for them, but the blue and green hearts. And this one is called Blue on the Vine. And this is an Etsy store I found several years ago, and I just, as I said, I just love them. And this one had a little cat card, and when you open it, it was a nice little message to me. But this was a nice bonus one because I am a returning customer, and so it's sort of a holder with a stitch marker. So kind of a this is a new design she's working on, so I'm interested to see how that is. And I think it's Kate at Spindle Cat Designs. And then Kate has a lovely white swan and a black swan set that I have had my eye on for a long time. I did not get the black swan, but I did get the white swan, and you've got the lovely feathers there, and then at the end the eye. And this one also came in this here, so you can see maybe the, it's hard to read. The white swan, copper check glass crystal stitch markers with a copper stitch holder, and these are great for 3.5 millimeter. And I'd looked into it before, but this is the biggest that she can go. So anyway, that is one of my favorite things to knit with, and as I said, I've had my eye on these ones for a while, so I decided for my birthday I was going to splurge. And then that leaves me with the last Spindle Cat Studio stitch marker I bought myself, and it's just a singleton, and again came in this lovely little package, and it's just a single, it is a silver, it's sterling silver and a cubic zirconian, and it looks, it's not a sapphire, but it looks like a sapphire. And it's nice because it's a little bit bigger than I usually have, because oftentimes I'm doing a hat and I want a pretty stitch marker for when I'm doing my hat in the round, or whatever it is I'm working on in the round and on bigger needles. So I bought myself this one, and this one goes up to US 10 or 6 millimeter, so leaves me room to get maybe one just a little bit bigger. But I thought that was my big splurge to myself, was to buy just the singleton of this one, and it's so pretty. So I do love my Spindle Cat Studios. As I said, it's on Etsy, and I believe the seller's name is Kate. And she has so many pretty ones. So and they're great because they don't move too much. They seem to, like, they seem to stay where they need to stay when I'm doing lace work. So these ones, there's a reason they're my favorite. So I'm jumbling my purchases up this week. I received a box on Thursday, and I could not help but rip it open, and because it was from Hedgerow. And the day before, when I had had my princess party, I had opened a package on brown paper packages, and there was another one in the mail the next day because I had ordered something after I had ordered my princess's skeins. On Thursday, when this box arrived, I could not help myself. It jumped the queue and got opened, and it had some lovely things in it. And I'll first talk about why it came in a box, and that was because I had purchased a SOCKER'S Rule Plus, and over here it's got the shoe sizes, but in the UK and the European. But that's easy enough to find out what the conversion is online for, you know. And once I figure out, you know, what I think I'm a size 8 to an 8.5 women's in the US sizing, so you know I can just sort of put a little. I just need to remember. I think it's something like a 38 in the UK, in the European sizing. I don't know, 38, I don't know, I'll figure it out. Anyway, so I will figure it out. And so it's got the shoe sizing, It has a spot so that you can see what size needles you're using. On this size, it's in centimeters, and on the other side, it's in inches, but my receipt is there, so it's not quite able, you're not able to see the full thing there. And there's a little spot for, there's a little how to do the Kitchener stitch. And so I haven't opened it yet, but there is a ring and a little attachment here that you can attach the ring to if you want to keep it somewhere so that it's easy access. And it's great because you can put it right at the heel of your sock and then measure how long it needs to be. So that's a pretty good tool to have. So I decided that I wanted to splurge and buy this for myself. And of course, you can't have this come alone. It needs to come with yarn. And it's just so hard to say no to lovely hedgerow yarn. So, if you tuned in to my Princess Party special, you saw me open a lovely package from Jane. And you saw each skein, the whole yarn package was wrapped together and beautifully. And on Thursday, when I opened this box and I got to the yarn, I had to stop opening at this point because I was just completely blown away. So there were 3 lovely floral wrapped packages, and then there was a brown paper wrapped package. And I took a photograph and put it on my Instagram. And attached to the brown one was this. Brown paper packages wrapped up in string. And I know that Jane does watch the podcast, and so she knows all about my brown paper packages segment. And this just made, my heart, like it was happiness, absolute happiness. And so of course, you know, I had to put everything down, took them outside, photographed them, got lots of close-ups of this, and I'm keeping this because I just love it. And so it's a little brown, here's the string, and just so wonderful. So this, I mean, I seriously had to stop opening at that point because my heart was just so full just from seeing this tag there, because it just was such, as I said, just such happiness. So in the beautiful floral packages, there were some wonderful MCNs, and this is the lovely Sweet Pea, and it's so soft and just lovely, and smells. Oh, Jane, what do you wash your yarn with? Because it's, you have to order from Jane just for the smell of the yarn. And then Isaac, do you want to come sit with me?
No, I gotta go.
Come say hello. We'll introduce you. Come sit.
Then I gotta go.
Yeah, come sit. So we'll do a little bit of brown paper packages. Everybody, this is Isaac. Isaac was in my World Turned Upside Down just at the very end, but he's not had the official introduction like Nathaniel has. So Isaac is 15 and has been away doing summer school this summer, so that's why he's not been around too much, but he's packing for a camping trip. So let's look at some yarn that I got this week, Isaac. Okay. Let's see what your college fund was spent on.
Oh no.
So this is from Hedgerow. You know how much I love my Hedgerow yarn.
Yeah.
Is this not beautiful? And I'm going to give you, I have 2 of them. Feel that. What do you think? So this is called Poppet. Do you know what a poppet is?
Poppet. I guess you pop it on the yarn needles? I don't know.
You could pop it on the yarn needles. I think I will pop it on the yarn needles. It's Poppet. It's like a puppet.
Oh, puppet. Like
a poppet, but it's called Poppet. Like my little
like
poppet.
A puppet? Not like a puppet, like...
You're like one of my little poppets. No, not like Pinocchio. Anyway, so this doesn't it feel absolutely amazing? So I have not bought the MCN from Jane before. And what do you think I should knit with this, Isaac? I've got 2 of them.
I think you should knit one with socks and one with a shawl.
You don't think both of them should go into either a garment to get, oh, that would be really pretty. Like stripes? Because look at this beautiful.
Well, yeah, but...
Because I've also got this one here.
Oh, well.
So this one's called Sweet Pea. It's very similar, but different.
What happens if you mix them? I don't know.
I could, but I think I like this separate, and I actually bought these two to go together. So I think maybe one of these days when I make a sweater, I think that would be really pretty, wouldn't it? It's very. What does it remind you of?
Am I supposed to know about it?
No, I'm just asking you what it reminds you of.
I don't know.
It reminds me of Christmas. Well, it's pink rather than red, but it's just sort of like a nice sort of fun.
It reminds me of spring.
Spring. It's just, it reminds me of beautiful. So anyway, so these three were the ones I ordered, and these were in the flower packages. But then there was, now I don't know if I showed you this, Isaac. So Jane from Hedgerow sent me a beautiful box the other day, and inside was this tag. Isn't that so cute? And I loved it. And in the brown paper package,
I want to go with Isaac.
you want to go with Isaac camping. In the brown paper package with a lovely stitch marker. Is that not just the cutest?
Yeah.
This is a one-of-a-kind colorway that Jane popped in just for me. A gift for me. Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
So the lovely Jane has a new puppy called Bobby. He's 11 years old. He's a rescue. He's had a rough week, but he's so cute. But, so she's had her hands full, but she took some time to wrap this beautiful thing in a brown paper package. Not for you.
I want to go camping with Isaac.
Oh, you know how to ruin a moment.
I want to go camping with Isaac.
I might like to send you camping with Isaac.
Yay!
Anyway, so that is what I got from Hedgerow Yarns. Another thing I got in the mail this week was a lovely package from Homespun Wonders. And I had been watching the Fluffy Fibers podcast, and I was enabled because she showed this beautiful, beautiful skein of sparkle sock. And it was, Isabel showed this beautiful skein of seaweed by Yorkshire Dale Yarn, and this is sold at Homespun Wonders, and sparkle in it. Isabel had it all caked up, and it just looked so beautiful, and I really loved the colors, so I just could not resist. So this was the little rabbit hole that then had me look at other things, but Isabel also had these lovely minis, and I could not resist, along with seaweed. And as I looked, I then saw this, and this is the beautiful packaging that comes from Homespun Wonders, these lovely little shiny little bags. And this was, now I would say hydrangea, but it's called Hydranger is the name of the colorway. And this is a 70% alpaca, 20% silk, and 10% cashmere blend. And so Hydranger. And this stole my heart. I love this clear ball band. But I don't knit a lot with alpaca, although I seem to be knitting a little bit more with it these days. And oh, so soft, and cashmere, alpaca, silk, and the colors are glorious. Just, oh, so beautiful. Something special will be made with this for sure. And just, oh, I can't wait to put this on my ball winder and see what it looks like all caked up. But just, oh, look at these beautiful pinks and purples and greens. And this was Happy Mail at the very beginning of the week for sure. So this came the same time as the Knit Picks Felici. So I ripped up with the Felici and then took my time with this one. And this one, oh my gosh, this one's so beautiful. So I'm excited to get this on the needles. And the seaweed, which I showed, is 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and 5% silver stellina. And it's called Sparkle Sock is the base. And I wish you could just really see this in person because it has just a beautiful sparkle. I love sparkle sock. So anyway, that is what came from Homespun Wonders. And that's not all. It's a bumper. It was a bumper mail week for sure. A red letter day, like 4 days in a row. The mailman, I think he was really laden down with packages. So the other thing, I ended up getting 3 Nora George packages, and I'm going to admit one of them still remains unopened because tomorrow's a holiday in Ontario, and I'm going to be like serious mail withdrawal, so I'm saving it till tomorrow to open that one. And because who knows, there may be like a mail shortage in the next little while, so gotta spread out the love. Anyway, I did get some lovely Nora George, but I also got some lovely VOOLENVINE, and I had bought myself an Oracle kit on the Narwhal base, and we're keeping this in the package for now, but I did have to open the package and touch the base because it was just so lovely. And this is the Under the Sea kit that was for the Oracle shawl. It's on the Narwhal base. So over here we have Black Pearl. This beautiful green, blue, purple, aqua is called Neptunia. And this one here is called Fairy Hair. And just beautiful, beautiful yarns from VOOLENVINE, and the feel of the Narwhal is so lovely. So it is a 70 Blueface Leicester, 20 cashmere, and 20 silk and 10 cashmere. So, gotta put glasses on. So 70 Blueface Leicester, 20 silk, 10 cashmere, and it just feels so lovely. And I may have needed to order some more of this Narwhal base on Friday, but unfortunately, I only had the little tiny iPod that I'm filming on right now with me. I left my iPod at home, and ordering on the iPod was a nightmare. I really wanted to get the kit that had the Lady of the Lake, and I failed miserably. I did get a couple of things, but not what I was wanting because I just couldn't scroll through fast enough to find what it was that I was wanting, and it just, the look of the web design on the iPod was very different than it looks on my iPad and different than it looks on my computer. So I was very disappointed that I did not get the Lady of the Lake on the Narwhal base. But hopefully it will come available again soon and I can get one because I just think it would be really lovely to work with. So those of you who have watched the podcast before know that I have a love affair with Nora George yarns, and Tracy from Nora George is an amazing dyer, and I have a very hard time going on the website and not hitting buy everything because all of her colorways are so lovely. And at the beginning of July, when we were coming back from our trip down at Taganock Falls, Tracy had an update, and I was at a rest stop when I saw that it was about to happen about 2 hours after I saw that notice. And we had to get to my sister-in-law's in Lewiston, and I swear I must have put the pedal to the metal, and I did get what I wanted, which was fantastic, but I couldn't believe that it stayed in the store as long as it did because I was a little bit late getting to the update. So what I ordered from that update, and what I really, really wanted, and there is going to be lots of crinkling, is I really, really wanted this lovely L. Turn it around. So that was one of the things that I just had to have from the update. And the other was Supermarket Flowers. So these were the two that I was going to get. But you know it never stops there because Tracy's yarns are just so beautiful. And we were sitting by the pool and the kids were jumping in the pool and there were unicorn floaties, and how can you say no to dive when you are sitting by a pool. And while you're at it, I mean, hearts don't break around here is the next lovely thing. Okay. I love my John Mayer. This is my alarm that I wake up to every morning. And most importantly, I set for updates. So I'm going to pause you for a few minutes because guess what? There's an update happening very, very soon. And I love my John Mayer. Thank you, John, for letting me know. I am back from the update that was the Fripperies and Bibelots update. I wanted to get some stitch safe hooks, and I ended up getting some of their markers as well, because I do like those, as well as I talked a little bit earlier about that I absolutely love my Spindle Cats stitch markers, but I actually really like the Bibelots and Fripperies and Bibelots. Fripp and Bib. I really like their markers as well, so I've been ordering a few of those, and I definitely wanted to get some hooks, so I set my alarm because I wasn't quite sure if the world would converge, because I'm so used to these yarn updates where everybody converges, and so I placed a couple of orders. So I'll be excited to show those to you in a few weeks. So anyway, yes, the lovely sounds of John Mayer took me up to that lovely little update. So now it is time to get to the final. So I did quickly show you my Nora George L and Supermarket Flowers, Crinkle Crinkle, and of course Dive and Hearts Don't Break around here. And then the alarm went off. So I did buy these at the update. I went in with wanting 2, came out with 4. That's how it works with Nora George. Her yarn updates are so beautiful, and you sit and you look at the yarn and go, oh, but I like this one, oh, but I like that one. And sometimes you've got to, it's an update, you've got to be quick sometimes. So and I can't believe that some of these stayed around as long as they did, because this was a gorgeous update. And I'm thinking, I love how Dive and L look together, and I'm thinking that these would be a beautiful brioche type shawl, so, or brioche project, and I'm just so excited to see what Supermarket Flowers looks like knit up, because it's just, I love all of the colors in it, and the pinks and the greens and even the yellows. So these are going to be knit up at some point, but definitely knit up. And the other Nora George package that I did open this week, and be prepared because it is completely gorgeous, and it is in my lovely porter basket, porter bin. And Fitzwilliam Darcy on Super Sock. Is this not utter gorgeousness? And yes, Crinkle Crinkle, because we've got to take this one out of the package. And look at these amazing, amazing colors. As I said, I love this green. I love lime green. And this is sort of like an olivey lime green. And there's just these beautiful shots of like turquoise. And just, it reminds me of a mallard duck. And just the male mallard duck, how he's got those beautiful feathers. And oh, Super Sock, Nora George, my favorite. And the colors, oh, this will make something beautiful. But because I just couldn't stop at one Fitzwilliam Darcy, singles. With Elizabeth Bennett. And again, I'm going to have to take these out of the package just to show you, because singles. So Super Sock and singles, the colors are just glorious, utter gorgeousness. And when I saw that they were going to be singles, I could not say no. And look at these, look at that beautiful little bit in there. And fun little bits of dark green with little brown speckly patches, and oh, so beautiful. And I did have Elizabeth Bennet on Super Sock and on a sock blank, but oh, look at that color. And I love singles. Singles are just beautiful to work with, and on a shawl they look amazing. I'm not sure whether I'll knit these together or whether I'll do them as separate projects. I don't know, but the pair had to come home together, and of course they just could not fly alone. They needed an escort to Mr. Darcy's and lovely Elizabeth Bennet. So yes, it was a wonderful mail week this week, and so many lovely things that I had treated to myself in my birthday month, and sort of a little license to spend the money that I work hard for. We're not going on a holiday this year, we're staying at home, so I need yarn to keep myself busy, right? So we can always justify, right? So anyway, these are just lovely, lovely, along with my other Nora George beauties that are crinkly still, so I'm not going to pull them out yet. But it was a lovely Nora George week, and as I said, there is still one more package to be opened. I know it's got my July minis, and I think maybe my Harry Potter, but it might be something else. So I will show that to you next week on the brown paper packages segment. But for now, I've got lots and lots of knitting to do. Good thing I got myself a ball winder. And now it's time to get serious. Over the past 5 months, I have developed a serious Instagram addiction. And I was told it would happen. People said, don't go on Instagram, it's completely addictive. You'll just spend so much time on it. I didn't listen. I set up an Instagram account, and now, first thing I do in the morning, check my Instagram. Last thing I do before I go to bed, check my Instagram. I don't know how I get any knitting done at all, because I'm constantly looking at these beautiful pictures on Instagram, and I'm having wonderful conversations with people on Instagram, which is fantastic. But I don't know how I'm going to deal when I go back to work in a couple of weeks, because we have been cut off from Instagram at work. So I use the Wi-Fi with my iPod, and at lunchtime, I like to check my Instagram. But I won't be able to anymore. So I'm not sure how I'm going to deal with this Instagram total cutoff in a few weeks. Because right now I've had, a few weeks to just look at Instagram whenever I want. And, it's hard. Like, if you go away for, part of the day, and then you come back, and there's just, tons and tons of things that are put on Instagram, and you just have to catch up with everything, and you want to sort of take the time to appreciate and read what you can if things, pop up, and, responding to messages in a timely fashion. So, in the next few weeks, I'm going to have the shakes again, because I won't be able to access as easily, and I'm going to feel completely lost without my Instagram, because yes, I am addicted, and right now I'm just itching to reach over, grab my iPod, and check out what has transpired while I've been recording the podcast, because I am, true confession, an Instagram addict. Thank you so much for coming to join me on the Comfy Red Couch this week. It makes me so happy to know that you do come and sit down, have some tea. I know I've got some returning viewers who every week check in with me, and I love having chats with you throughout the week, and I really appreciate the time that you've taken to spend with me, and I love the comments you send me as well about different things that I've talked about during the podcast, and so thank you so much for taking that time to sit down, because of course it's always a bit of self-care for yourself to sit down and enjoy, but it's not always easy to make the time. I know myself, the past few weeks I've been trying to stay up once the kids are all in bed and catch up on different podcasts and find new podcasts that maybe I hadn't watched before, or that people have said, have you seen this? And it's one of those, no, I haven't, just because I know there's only so much time in the day, but I definitely appreciate the time that you give me to watch my podcast. If you were new, I hope that you enjoyed the podcast today, and feel free to check in with me at Tracy RR at Ravelry or at Comfy Red Couch on Instagram. I love to hear from you. I do try and get back to you in a timely manner. I do try and get back to you in a timely manner, and I hope that you'll come back and visit me again next week on the Comfy Red Couch. Have a wonderful week. Bye. Yarn update. With yarn.